welcome to the Savvy Corner. If you're new here, my name is Alisa and I make money-related videos covering personal and business finances, financial well-being and money mindset. If you're not new, welcome back and thanks for stopping by again. Continuing with the series of business-related videos, today I want to address the topic of measuring results in your business. We've already talked about setting goals and what process to follow so that you don't get overwhelmed. If you haven't seen my videos on setting and achieving goals, I will link to them on the screen and in the description box below. But let's assume that you already know what you want to reach, what goal you want to achieve. How do you determine whether you're on the right track to achieving it? If you've set your goal in a smart way, then you'll be able to set meaningful KPIs or key performance indicators to help you measure your progress. I talked about meaningful KPIs in my previous video, which again, I will link for you on the screen and in the description box. While some things are easier to measure, others can prove quite tricky. Take impact, for example, or visibility. How do you measure those? You might be tempted to do it by counting the number of participants to an event or a course, the number of views on your social media posts, or the usual vanity metrics, likes, comments, and shares. If that's the case, I think now is a good time for me to introduce the difference between an output and an outcome. An output is a direct and immediate result of an action. Take the action of writing or content creation. An output of it might be a blog post, an article, a social media post, and so on. If your goal is to get more visible and you're measuring your progress by the number of blog posts you write, you might be missing part of the story. An outcome, on the other hand, is also a result of an action, but it's not tactical, it's strategic. It is a strategic consequence of performing an action. In the example I shared earlier, the outcome might be the increase in interest that you'll get by writing more blog posts, such as an increase in the number of visitors on your website, more interest in your work, proposals for collaborations, and so on. The key to accurately measure the results in your business is to go beyond outputs. And here's what I mean. You've all heard of Simon Sinek, I presume. Start with why? If you haven't, go check him out. His ideas are great, and I will leave a link to one of his talks in the description box below. Simon Sinek talks about a lot of businesses doing things the wrong way around, starting with the outcome of their actions, the what, followed by the process of how to do it, and finally getting to why, the purpose or reason for doing it. Instead, he suggests taking a different approach and starting with why. If we adapt this model to the topic of our video today, in essence what we're saying is that we start with a goal or an objective, followed by some action which takes us to a result or an output. I'd like to suggest that we add two more steps to this equation. The first one is to ask ourselves, so what? After we have achieved some outputs, we need to measure and analyze them. Are they generating the outcomes that we were expecting? Are they taking us closer to our goals? Are we acting strategically or are we acting tactically? It's very easy to fall into the trap of being busy all the time and believe that this is a good sign and an indication of the fact that you are on the right track to reaching your goals. Being busy doesn't equal being productive. You can get busy doing things which are not going to move the needle too much, but maybe you enjoy them or you're good at them and therefore you keep on performing those actions. Without asking yourself this question, so what? You risk occupying your time with things that are not going to make a huge difference in your business. Let's say you want to get more visible in the online space and therefore you double your output in terms of the monthly number of blog posts, articles, and other content that you put out there. So what? Is this the right approach? What results have you seen as a consequence of upping your game? Are people interested in the style of content that you're putting out there? Is this increased effort driving traffic to your website? Are you reaching more interest in the form of direct messages, speaking engagement invitations, whatever it might be? If you're not asking yourself these questions, you're missing out. The second step I'd like to suggest is asking yourself, now what? Now that you've measured and analyzed your outcomes, it's time to evaluate and adapt. This is where setting meaningful KPIs will come in handy. You can see on the screen a simple example of what evaluating and adapting might look like. If you've met your KPI, then all you have to do is move on. If, however, by performing some actions you've not met a particular KPI, you can start by asking yourself what went wrong, whether you can fix it, and how long is it likely to take. Depending on your answers, you can either fix the issue or change your approach completely. Another way of evaluating, which I am a big fan of, is the Threee Principle. This is a concept I learned as an accountant, and the full title of it is the 3 E's of value for money: economy, efficiency, and effectiveness. Economy is about doing things at the right price. Efficiency is about doing things the right way, and effectiveness means doing the right things. Here's a graphic representation of how the concept of the 3 E's overlaps with the concepts of outputs and outcomes. You can probably guess that a good strategy will have to take all 3 elements into account. You might be doing things for a good price and in the right way, but if you're doing the wrong things, you won't get the results you're expecting. At the same time, doing the right things in the right way is great, but if it costs you an exorbitant amount of money, you'll probably not generate the results you're expecting, especially in terms of profit, for example. So the next time you're thinking about the results you're generating in your business, don't forget to measure and analyze, so what? And then evaluate and adapt your strategy. Now what? I hope you found this video useful, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for similar content. If you like these types of videos, don't neglect the 2 that you see on the screen right now. They have been carefully selected for you so that you can get more confident in managing your money and your mind around it. That's it from me for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.